How do you financially recover when you lose absolutely everything? That's what we're going to be finding out in today's Budget Bestie. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that about a year and a half ago, I lost my job. And at the time when I lost my job, I also lost my partner. There's so much in my life that kind of just fell apart. I thought that I was going to lose absolutely everything. I was also massively in debt, and it just felt like the worst thing that could ever possibly happen to me. Turns out it was the absolute best thing that ever happened to me. I am definitely one of the privileged ones, and I am completely lucky. Hi guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome to Budget with Ira. My name is Ira, and on this channel we talk about budgeting, paying down debt and saving up for the life that you truly deserve. If that sounds like something you'd like to watch, please consider subscribing to the channel because we do have a lot of fun over here, bestie. We really do. In today's video, we're going to be continuing my series of Budget Bestie. Budget Bestie is a series where people anonymously submit their budgets to me. I take a look at them and see what I might do if I was in their situation. This is not financial advice. However, some people find a bit of insight in the things that I might do, but the real wisdom comes from everything that comes down in the comment section. So if you have an idea about how you might do something slightly differently, please let me know down in the comments because it really helps. It helps absolutely everybody. More than me, more than the person on this Budget Bestie. It can help so many people. So please be vocal. Please let me know what you think. But anyway, in today's video, we're doing a Budget Bestie for somebody who has lost their job and they kind of feel like they've lost everything. So shall we get into this? Okay, besties, so when I asked this person what their main financial issue is, they say that they lost their job last year, gained that they would like gone sooner, and the loan periods now have a job again. So their main financial goal is to clear their debt quicker and replenish their savings. So that's their overriding goal. So it's all about getting rid of this debt and moving on and just moving on basically. So they've given us quite a bit of information here. So they say they're single, no children. After losing my job last year, I used my savings and eventually had to take out loans in order to make ends meet until I had no choice but to move back into my parents' home. And I can definitely understand that. So you're used to being independent and financially independent and all of that. You're trying to make it work and trying to stay where you are, and you're using all of your savings to afford your rent. And then when they've gone, you've like, okay, I'm gonna get a job soon, so let me just get out a couple of loans, and it doesn't quite work out. So you just have no choice, and I completely understand that, but let's read on. I've now got a steady job, good for you, and I've taken some of the household payments like TV subscriptions, internet, to start paying my way while I recover financially and can move out again. I want these loans gone sooner rather than later, and I'd like to help set up a debt snowball that will help me towards this aim whilst also allowing me to start putting back into my savings pot. So that is something that we can definitely work out. So debt aside, I'm sure there's a part of this story that we can all identify with. So sometimes we can be too proud, and sometimes we can hold on to something for as long as we possibly can until we kind of have to do what we have been putting off. But sometimes if we just take a step and do that thing and eat that frog, then sometimes we can just put ourselves out of the situation. But the situation is the situation. We're in this situation now. So should we figure out a plan to get this Budget Bestie's dreams come true? Okay, here we are with the paycheck bill tracker pad. This is an item that's available on my Etsy store, and normally it has 25 sheets in it, but I think I've got a couple, I think there's 3 left because I use this so often. And essentially what it is it is a pad of paycheck bill trackers for you to do your budget. If you're new to budgeting, or you make a lot of mistakes, or you like to envision a lot of scenarios, it can be really useful because you can write out a budget, and if it's not working, rip it off and start again. But we are going to be using this today, so shall we get cracking? So we're going to start with this person's income. So this person's income, there's one income and it's £1,600. I don't know if there's like a possibility for a side hustle. I don't know how involved their job is or anything like that, but at the moment they're saying £1,600 is what they earn every month, and that's what we're sticking with. So they've got a couple of bills. So let's start with this. So we have rent, which they pay 130, which is nice and low. That's really generous parents. Phone, which I assume is their phone, which is 61.77, which as you know, for the UK, the phone is just, that's too much. That's far too much. So I'll be looking at downgrading that already. Internet, which is 39 £59. The gym is £30. They pay Amazon Prime, and again, these are not things that they should get rid of. They are things that their parents already have, so they're like sort of, this is their way of supporting the household. So it's £8.99 for that. Then they have Apple Music, and that is £10.99. So I guess they've just moved a load over into their name. They have Disney Plus. As you can see, it's a lot of like TV subscriptions and things like that. So I guess it's really, really helpful to their parents while they're helping them out. And then they have an iCloud thing at 79p. So what that comes up to is £290.12, which leaves them, after we've taken out of their income, £1,309.88. So moving down, they have envelopes here. So they have a groceries envelopes, groceries, and it's £150 a month. So either they're living really, really lean, or they're just doing this to sort of supplement whatever they're getting from their parents. Either way, whatever works for them works for them. And then they spend on travel every month £100. So that's probably to get to work and stuff like that. That comes up to £250, which leaves them with £1,059.88. And they have no sinking funds. Then they have their debt, which is loan number 1, and the minimum payment on that is £135.11. And then they have loan number 2, and we'll get into this as well. Loan number 2, which is £168. So that adds up to £303.11, which leaves them with £756.77. So this is all that they've given me for their budget. So they're not talking about any sort of spending money or anything like that. So I feel like they're kind of beating themselves up and trying to live really minimally and lean, and stuff like that. They also want to have, what have I done wrong? It's 756. I added an extra 6 in. They kind of don't know what to do with this and how to go about paying off their like stuff. So I will show you what I would do. Let's get out the red pen, Bestie. So obviously the income's not going to change, which is just 1,600, but bills can change, and I'm just going to talk about these ones. So the internet, the Amazon Prime, and the Apple Music, I think, and that would cut like 60 odd pounds out of what you're paying. If you were able to have a conversation with your parents about like maybe not paying those in order to get yourself back on your feet, and then maybe giving them a lump sum better later on when you're like much better position. But either way, let's just leave the bills the way they are, because if some people like paying their way in like their way, do you know what I mean? Like some people just have different relationships with their parents as well. So that's what it is for now. So we're still on a track. We're still in exactly the same situation. So groceries and travel are what they are. And if that's what is working, that is what is working. But I would introduce 2 new categories. So I would budget myself for spending money, because no matter how long you do this for, no matter how much you beat yourself up about, no matter how badly you treat yourself, eventually you're going to want to spend some money. So let's start off with baby steps and do £120. That's £30 a week, and that's plenty, right? So let's do spending, and then let's do social as well, because you're not a hermit, you're living with parents, you're going to want a break. So let's do £20 a week, which is £80. So all of a sudden your envelopes are just a bit kinder to you. £450 leaves you with £609.88. And then I would introduce some sinking funds. Obviously, you're going to want to do Christmas, depending on what you celebrate. So let's do Christmas, stroke Eid, or whatever. I would do £20 a week, because you're going to want to treat your parents. You're going to want to treat the people around you. Then look after yourself, self-care. So that might be your haircuts, getting your nails done, whatever it is. £20, and then birthdays. So your birthday, your parents' birthdays, people around you birthdays, because you're going to want to do that. So saving up for it, just a small amount is going to be nice. If your family knows what situation's going on, like a small birthday present isn't going to offend them. Do you know what I mean? That comes up to £50, which leaves you with £559.88. Now, there's no room for it here, so I'm just going to write it here. So in terms of debt, I'm going to plan in an overpayment of 196.88, which then brings your total to debt to £500, which leaves you with 59.88. Now we will go into the debt plan, what I would do afterwards, but let's finish this off and add a new savings pot for emergencies. Now, losing your job is an emergency, but this ain't going to cover it, right? But at the same time, you've had enough in your life. Be prepared for the next emergency, because there always will be emergencies. So do £50 a month and just see how far you get with it. Ideally, you'd get to £1,000 first, and then try to get to a place where you're able to cover all your basics for 3 months on it. So that leaves you a buffer of 988. So I think that is a reasonable budget. 988, but the real thing we need to work out is this debt plan. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, here we are. I found a blank page. I'm sure you can see what's underneath it, but I'm not wasting paper. So here's the debt snowball. So we're gonna look at a snowball. So how a snowball is supposed to work is you list your debts from lowest to biggest, and then you have a snowball payment, and then you keep passing the payment down. We've only got 2, so it's a really short chain. So we've got loan number 1, and what they owe in total is £2,000, and their minimum amount on that is 135.11. Then they also have loan number 2, and what they owe on that is £5,000, and their minimum is 168. So we've already started off a snowball payment, which is what we budgeted in, of 196.89, yeah? So when we add 196.89 to 135.11, that gives you a initial starter snowball of £332 that we're gonna chuck at that every single payday. And what that means, if we do that, we'll pay this first one off in 6 months. Then when we come down here, we can add the 332, once this one's paid off, to the 168, which then gives you £500, yeah? So then this one will be paid off in 10 months. So it's a really, really short debt plan, right? So this means that we are debt free in 16 months. Yeah, so that is 1 year, 4 months. That's a really quick way to get out of the situation that you were in, right? So if there's an opportunity for overtime, maybe you've got stuff to sell, stuff like that, all of that can get chucked in to get this done as quickly as possible. But this was the plan that I thought was, in keeping with your needs, because you wanted to get out of debt as quickly as possible. However, I still wanted you to not forget about taking care of yourself. So that's why in this budget we introduce spending, social, like treating your family to Christmas, Eid, a bit of self-care. That's why I made sure that that crept in here, because you can't go along for 16 months and just not taking care of yourself, not having any spending money, because eventually there'll be a blowout. Eventually you'll go, oh, bugger this, and you'll speak really poorly about yourself and treat yourself poorly. If you take care of yourself within your budget, then you're going to be all right. Yes, it might take longer to pay off debt, because if you had an extra £200, yes, it would be much quicker, but you can't do that forever. So my advice is to make sure that you are taking care of yourself in a sensible and reasonable way. Don't get a £100 haircut every week sort of thing, but taking care of yourself will benefit your budget in more ways than you will realize. So that's what I would do. Besties, what would you do in today's scenario? I'd love to know in the comments down below. Hi guys, girls and non-bypass, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe. And if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. I'd really love to know what you might do if this was your personal situation. I mean, if this was my personal situation, knowing the relationship that I have with my parents, I would probably move back home, but I would probably be that person that kind of doesn't pay their way. I don't think I would be paying rent and paying subscriptions and things like that. I think I would be funneling everything into paying off my debt as quickly as possible. and then sort of paying back as a sort of thank you payment to my parents. That's probably what I would do, but things are different. People have different relationships with their parents. People have different attitudes to paying their way. So it's different for everybody. So I'd love to know in the comments down below what you might do if you were in this situation. Thank you so much for all of the love and support for this Budget Bestie series. It's something that I really look forward to doing every single week. Sometimes we do this live as well over on my other channel, Don't Trust Ira. If you haven't yet subscribed to that channel, we do lives every Tuesday and every Thursday, and it's a ball. It really, really is a ball. So if you want to see me make some cash envelopes or film a budget bestie or open 100 envelopes or whatever we're doing that week, make sure you go ahead and subscribe because it is a lot of fun, bestie. An extra special thank you to the channel members and the patrons who make this channel what it is, because without you, I can't do half the things that I'm doing right now. So thank you so much. And if you would like to join them over on Patreon, please take a look at the link in the description. You will not regret it, bestie. That's everything for this week. And until the next budget bestie, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And bestie, I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.